Live from the Empire. Nice.
Live from the Empire.
Is it the
There
Empire
we go.
or is this the New Earth Empire?
It is the Tawnlandian Empire.
Okay.
The Tawnlandian Empire. All right. So we're going to take a look see, and we've got everybody coming up. All right. And we'll give it a few more seconds, see if we can get anybody going here. Looking for folks to show up. And I see Rhonda. Rhonda's joining us. Hi. Coming from Facebook, it looks like.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, I think
Anda?
we can go ahead and introduce everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Tawn Krakowski, founder of Barnstormer Publishing, and I am so glad that you're spending your afternoon with us. Today, we are gathering for a very special celebration, the official release party for Thoughts for the Collective by the wonderful salty angel himself, Rein Cummins. Poetry and reflective prose have a unique way of bringing people together, giving voice to the things we feel deeply but don't always know how to say. Tonight is all about community, connection, and diving into the heart of this collection. We have a wonderful hour lined up, pre-recorded readings by the author, behind the scenes insights into the writing process, an audience Q&A, and live giveaways. We'll be drawing for free editions, physical copies, and a very special personal rune reading with Rein. If you would like to enter the draw, make sure you are active in the live chat right now. Every comment is entered into the drawing, and StreamYard will collect them and draw our winners live on air. To kick things off, please welcome the author of Thoughts for the Collective, the salty angel himself, Rein Cummins. Hi, Rein. Oh, let's see if we put you in here. There we are.
Hello.
How are you, Rein? Welcome. First of all, congratulations on the release. How does it feel to share this collection with the world?
Feels pretty good. Really good, actually. It's been a long time coming. Yeah, long story short, it's something I've always wanted to do and had some disappointments, in the past with trying to get published and things like that. And I kind of just put it aside and just thought, it's not going to happen. It's just something that I'll just do for myself. And then here we are. It's out there. It's real. It happened. So it feels great.
I'm glad. It feels great over here too. Uh, for those of us who are joining us tonight, who are diving into your work for the first time, can you share a little bit of the core philosophy behind Thoughts for the Collective? Like what inspired the title, and what do you hope that readers carry away with them?
Core philosophy. That's interesting. It's basically Thoughts for the Collective. Like it came to me very soon as I started writing these. I became aware that these weren't just poems and they weren't just the usual process I went through for poetry that I wrote that maybe never got shared.
Mhm.
And it became obvious that this was meant for the collective. So Thoughts for the Collective just made sense, and it just stuck as that's the title, put them together, put them out there kind of thing. So
I absolutely love that. And I did want to, excuse me, I'm kind of grabbing some of the assets off of my other screen here. I did want to open it up and read from Thoughts of for the Collective, the introduction that you
sure.
had written.
Yeah.
So it says, Thoughts for the Collective are parts of my poetry and parts of inspiration channeled through me from Source, the universe. This collection is an artistic expression in written form. They contain insights and messages for anyone open to receive and those meant to reach. As the title suggests, they are meant for the collective, and the collective is made up of individuals like you and me. It is my firm belief that those who are meant to read any of these thoughts will and interpret any of these thoughts will and interpret them in their own unique way, exactly at the right time.
Yep.
I think that's absolutely lovely.
I love it. Yeah. And, they were written quite a few years ago
Mhm.
over, I believe it was a 2 year span. I think that's in the book as well, like the actual time period,
Uh-huh.
time conclusion. And yeah, I mean, so what is that, 4 years later since maybe the first few were written? But it doesn't matter, in my opinion. It comes out, it's divine timing, and when it reaches somebody, it reaches them. Whether it was a video I might have posted of one of them, 4 years ago, or somebody picked
Mhm.
up today or tomorrow or 5 years from now, it it's timeless, I think.
Mhm. I absolutely agree. I do have your YouTube channel down here on the bottom so that
Cool.
folks, if you want to go find Rein on YouTube, you can find him there. If you are looking for him on Facebook, we also have him at Rein Cummins and Facebook. And I'm
Mixed ride.
also going to and then I'm going to pop up here the QR code. Um, Thoughts for the Collective is available on Amazon right now. You can go over to that QR code and pick up your copy today. And honestly, I think the best way to kind of dive into this is to hear it. And we have some pre-recorded videos that are ready to go that Rein reading from Thoughts from the Collective. And this first one, I saw a dead bird. Can you set that stage for us a little bit about, or should we watch it first and then talk about it?
I was trying to say maybe watch it first because I don't
All right.
have I don't have it in front of me, and it's
Uh,
but I do remember this. This was actually something that was glitching in the Matrix. It was literally a bird in the sky, and it was not on a wire.
oh,
It was literally just there. Like there's some weird stuff that occurs, and I'm sure some people can also share their experiences of glitches they've seen, or, for example, going to a building that was there the day before, and you think you're at the right place, but everything's different. I don't know. I don't want to start rambling, but I do know that started out with a bird stuck in the air, and it was basically talking about glitches in the Matrix, and so.
all
But
right.
let's see if I remember correctly.
All right. Well, I'm going to pop that right up here and let's have a listen. This is from page 20. It's volume 1, number 12. Here we are.
I saw a dead bird, suspended in mid-air, not in a dream, in the sky, in waking reality. I think it was dead, because it wasn't moving, but it was in the air, suspended in the air. It was just there. We are breaking down the illusion. We are the glitch in the Matrix. Repeat after me. I revoke consent to being enslaved in the quantum matrix. I feel it's important now to call back your power. Do not allow consent for your energy to be taken or used. Call back yourself, all yourselves from other timelines, and no longer staying stuck or stagnating in the past. Words with intent have power, especially when inspired action is also applied. I invoke the consciousness of all of my simultaneous incarnations in all dimensions, on all levels, in all universes, in all timelines, into reintegration in my unified field of consciousness here and now. And so it is.
That's lovely.
So it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Um, I have, when I think of glitches in the matrix, I think of them as deja vu. And
Yeah.
when I experience deja vu, it's to me, it's a flash of a scene in the same sequence that I feel like I've remembered,
Hmm.
as if, as if I've been here before. And I recognize in that moment, I've been here.
Yeah.
And it's, it, to me, I feel like it means that I'm on the right path, that things are proceeding the way they always have, if
Or
that makes sense.
change it in better ways, like instead of the same repetition. Like for example, if you go to the train or the bus every day, you see the same whatever you see, you go do the same routine. Then it's like out of the blue one day, 2 years after doing the same routine, like you said, you're at the same place at the same time, you see the same things, but something's different, or you see something that should be there but isn't, and something is like a deja vu, but something's changed
Mhm.
in that moment, and it feels like, to me anyways, I get the deja vu thing, and it's like something's shifting, something's changing, and that's good because stagnating and repeating and going the same all the time, to me, is not good. It has to, the cycle has to break at some point, right?
Yeah,
That makes
absolutely. Absolutely. I did, I popped up the written, version from the print book up on the screen as well, and as you can see, even the balance of how the words are written on the page are very poetic.
yeah, that's one thing I mentioned to you before, how I'm kind of particular about how I have poetry spaced. Like sometimes there'll literally be spaces on the same line,
Mhm,
and some people might think, oh, that's a typo, you know. But to
mhm,
me, it's also how you're reading it and how your breath, especially if you're saying it out loud, obviously, and then
mhm.
just the actual look of it instead of just line. It's got more of a flow and a visual look to it. So that's, I don't know. I appreciate that in poetry
Yeah.
on the page.
I do see that Rhonda would like to know if you have a Substack.
I do not.
I do not. I have one and I've written maybe 2 things on there. So Substack is new to me as well. Um,
It's just with my current technology issues, I literally only have my cell phone that I'm using right at this moment. I can't log into my Facebook at the moment. I don't want to go into great gory details, but I do at some point want to look into Substack and Patreon and get
mhm.
back on my Facebook. So yeah, thank you, Rhonda. I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but I've heard of it enough that I want to look into it at some point.
Mhm. Well, I think why don't we hear another one?
All
So
right,
this second video, I'm just gonna pop this up on stage like this, and we'll just listen to it
We
first.
don't discuss our dreams in the daytime anymore, just as some names are no longer spoken anytime anymore. Some heard the words in the silence, those who also don't follow the herd. Intertwined bloodlines, this is the time. Don't fall in love, rise in love. Intention is everything, love is all encompassing.
Oh, that's nice. And here, I'm going to put up the written form of that as well so we can take a look at that.
cool.
That
Yeah, there's
one,
been intention. I noticed like some of the theme. I think you asked something about philosophy, and I didn't really know without going too deep into it. But there's a I guess the philosophy would be love and intention, and you see a lot of that in the collection. Like even the word love, I put in capital letters for a reason.
mhm,
Every the word love, it should all be capped, LOVE, big and bold, and jumps off the page for a reason.
mhm. There is, I feel, a connection between artists and the audience that that is based in love. We don't connect with people that we don't, we don't feel something for. And I think that's huge in your work that I've seen.
I agree. Authenticity is important to me. And there's a lot of fake. I'm not going into AI, but without I don't want to go right, but just fake in so many ways. And I don't do fake. And I think a lot of people really appreciate a connection because a lot of people don't think you can make a connection online. They think it's fake just because it's
Yeah.
online. I disagree. And based on personal experiences and people that I also know, I have made some very real connections with people I've never met. I can feel energy from something on Facebook, whether it's a video or a poem or a meme or the intent behind it, that I can feel and I can tell, is
Mhm.
this just some fake thing with no true spark behind it, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can. I think being discerning is key. I mean, a lot of people do get fooled by a lot of things, but there's also reasons for that. And, I don't want to go into it at the moment. I think
Well, and I just wanted to say right now for our audience, if a particular line resonated with you just now, uh, drop a star or a favorite line in the chat, or come just say hello in the chat. Every time that you make a comment, StreamYard will pick that up and will enter you into the drawing for digital copies, as well as a grand prize of a physical copy and a single rune reading from Rein. So be sure to drop some comments in there. And because I'm doing all of this, I'm kind of the producer at the same time. So forgive me if I'm a little slow to get to some of the comments. But Rhonda does say some of the best friends she's met online.
there you go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we do have a congratulations from Amanda Jane. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think um, as I was going through all of this, I found one that we hadn't discussed reading, but I
Okay.
really, really liked it. And so I would like to read that one as well. Let's see if I
Sure.
can find it though. And it's on.
People that say this is what I like about it and why, or this is, I was having a shitty time. Whatever the case may be, and I
Uh-huh.
like art from this because of this reason, or this is my perspective. I love hearing that because that shows me some things that I might not have seen or felt from it, which is the whole point. It's I didn't write it for me. I wrote it for the collective. So to hear back from the collective only makes sense. I mean, I really appreciate that. So yeah, please, I'd love to hear what
All
you have.
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop this one up on stage with the two of us here. And it's number 22. It is from volume 2. And it begins like this. Pics of an eclipse, slipping slowly off a precipice. Kiss my lips with passion, or don't be near me at all. You can't ignore the call when it's ringing in your ears. Don't waste your tears. Salt of the earth, blessing, or a curse. The choice is yours. The fall can be the rise. Even through the fog, you can see just close your eyes. All is as it should be. It will be all right. It will be all right. And so it is. Now open your eyes.
I love that you love that one, and I love that it's 222. That's yeah.
Well, it's actually pretty apropos since we had the lunar eclipse just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Timing, right? I love it.
I love it. Well, We do have some live Q&A at the end. I think right now what I'd like to do is just do a quick drawing for one of the digital copies.
Okay.
So I'm going to put up see if I can do that. I'm going to pop up here the giveaway tool. Add to stage before I remove other media streams from the stage. All right, so I have to take this off. And then I can add this. Ta-da! All right, so we're just going to do a drawing now. Everybody, if you are joining us now, be sure to make a comment. It will enter you in the drawing. And we're going to start off with the tool right here.
Ta-da!
And if it's me, we'll just draw again. Actually, it'll be nice because if it's me, it'll just take it right out. Winner Rhonda, congratulations. Congratulations. So what we will do is, Rhonda, if you could give me, when you have an opportunity, just send your information to editor@barnstormerpublishing.com and I can send that out to you right away. I'm going to put editor at barnstormerpublishing.com. And I see from the comments that Rhonda wanted to know how you went about publishing. And that's actually where I come in. My company, Barnstormer Publishing, is the publisher of Thoughts for the Collective. And in addition to several other authors. And one of the things that I intend to do through Barnstormer Publishing is make sure that the readers have an opportunity to meet the authors in, for example, a live stream like this, or even question and answers, that kind of thing. Because I feel that it's important for myself as a publisher, but also for the authors to have an opportunity to connect with the readers in more than just reading from the page, because all of these are open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. I know that we have a few more. Let's go ahead with this one. And we can talk about that. So this is the third video is from page 41 in volume 2, and it is number 30. It is here.
Living in the present moment is a sacred practice. Shed the masks of pretense and step into authority. The more you let go, the more you find. I had one finger on the trigger and one on the pulse long ago. Back when I was afraid to die, back when I was unsure how to live. And now, I know the difference. And now, I am.
Oh, I love that.
This is such a trip for me. Just brings back so much, because I mean that was a few years ago, and like where I was and everything, and then watching myself, it's just tripping me out. Sorry. Yeah.
It does
And
look beautiful on the page.
thank you. That video actually is one that came to mind a while back. You'd asked me about something that was maybe terrifying to write or directly spoke to me, and that's the one that actually came to mind. So yeah, that's part of why I'm tripping out. Don't mind me.
Well, Rhonda would like to know about design and layout. I know that you're very particular about how it looks on the page. Can you tell us more about that?
It's, some people say that, you're picky, but it's not picky. You know what you like, right? So for me, a physical copy of a book, I prefer, as a lot of people do, because it's something you can hold, you can smell the paper. It's not some digital thing, and there's advantages to that. But for me, I don't know. I think that's part of the art form and part of the creation that becomes its own entity. What you put into it can also bring other ideas that you didn't have before, and it all forms and comes together. How it looks, which also brings a feeling to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that answered the question, but
I, I'm not entirely sure either. Uh, Design and layout also was done through Barnstormer Publishing with our managing editor, Wendy Liu, who is also an author through Barnstormer Publishing. She has 2 books with us, Just Kill Me and Queen of Diamonds, that are kind of later in life romance, action, adventure, thriller designs as well. And I know that doing a poetry book is something brand new for Barnstormer Publishing. I have several other types of books. There's everything from illustrated children's books to I just signed Miss Sapphire with some fantasy erotica. So we have a very large genre, and this is our first um, publication of poetry, and I'm very, very excited about it to be able to bring something um, that can bring meaning to an entirely different group of people from what from that would normally purchase from Barnstormer Publishing. I'm very excited to have this new genre uh, with our in our catalog.
nice. Collaborating with Wendy was amazing, and I think that's a huge component for anybody that wants to put something together. When you're working with somebody and they bring their ideas, and you can collaborate in order to make things that neither of you might have seen, and it turns out beautifully as a result that it might not have quite the same had you tried to do it all by yourself. So yeah, it was great. She did a great job. Amazing.
hmm I concur. I think both of you absolutely did a wonderful job. And as a publisher, it's important for me that the artist's work shines through. I think I know that's traditional publishers tend to uh, choose works based on how they'll sell, and they don't give the authors a whole lot of leeway as far as um, typesetting or cover design even. And that's not how I want Barnstormer Publishing to be. I want it to be a true reflection of the artists and in their voices, um,
Yeah.
because I feel that it muddles their voice if it's something that's not collaborative, like
And I
like you
love
were
that.
saying.
I love that that's how you do it, because also working with you has been super easy, because having creative input and, a certain degree of control with it is
hmm
important as an artist, as an author, musician, whatever the case may be. Um, to just sign it over and saying, here's the core of it, but I have no say in the cover, the back, the this, the that. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go that route. So I'm glad that I didn't, and I went with you because I was able to have pretty much. I want to try this. Let's try this. Does that work? What about this idea? Let's put this here. Let's put this. So
Yeah.
that's, to me, that's very important.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I did wanted to put that cover up there on the screen for everybody to see with his beautiful face and the sun shining by in his background. It's lovely. And while I have you, it just kind of occurred to me, tell me a little bit about the salty angel.
um,
Where did that come from?
Funny story. This guy that I didn't really know that well on Facebook.
Mhm.
We never really interacted or anything like that. And then we had, long story short, we he kind of came at me for one of my posts because he thought he has something in his mind that was completely not the case. And I was like, whoa, who is this guy? And I asked my friend who told me that you got to check this guy out. He's add him to your page. He's awesome. Soul Tribe. We're all on the same thing, right? And then he came at me with something, and I was just like, wow, what is this all about? You know, maybe I got this guy wrong. And so I confronted him about it, and we talked about it, and he heard me out, and then he understood where I was coming from, and we got on the same page, and misunderstanding was cleared, and we're like, yeah, we're on the same page, we're fighting on the same side, blah blah blah. So we were cool. And then a while, not too long later, he had he had he had said something in a comment to me about being a salty angel. And at the time, I was still kind of like, I don't know, does this guy like me? Like, is he? Because it's kind of hard to tell sometimes in messages and stuff. Like, is this sarcasm? Is he for real? Because you don't really know me that well yet, and vice versa, right? So I was like, is he trying to insult me? And I wasn't sure. And I was just like, you know what? That's hilarious. Because even if he was, I'm going to take it and run with it. So I'm like, you know what? I am now the salty angel. And it turns out he was actually complimenting me. I found that out later. But at the time, I was like, you know what? I don't care. I love that. I love it. I'm going to take it and run with it. It fits. So
I love it. It does. It absolutely does.
That's how it
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. I know that we have one more video that's ready to go. Before we get to that, anybody who's joining us now, be sure to make a comment, say hi, tell us where you're from, that kind of thing. Every comment will enter you into a drawing for an ebook or a physical copy and a personal reading from Rein. Let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up this this final
Can you
video we have. Say again?
Can you hear the birds in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're having a good time out there.
They are pretty crazy. It's awesome.
Make sure that you give us a comment. We'll have Q&A, questions and answers shortly. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it into the comments and we'll be sure to get to those. And then let me play this video here. This is from page 59 of volume 3 and it's number 46.
The greenest wood in winter was used to make the bow. Somewhere in between, in the middle of life and death, the arrow was let go. This trip and a half has shed its light on all it was supposed to, regardless of which side it was on. Fire and ice, spirit and mind, in the darkness there is a light to find. It burns brighter than the sun, but it doesn't blind. Darkness is not darkness. Both dance in time with each other. Gain through loss, inner strength over short-term pain. The teacher sends you back to yourself once again. You can crawl around in the mud with the lotus, but that's not sitting on your own throne. Be it a mound of dirt or pure gold isn't even important when you realize what is real.
Oh, very nice. What are you thinking when you're hearing that?
For me personally, it's got a lot to do with duality and paradox, which has been kind of an obsession of mine my whole life. Light, dark, sun, moon, good, evil, all these balances and opposites and all of that. I'm just fascinated with that. And that's one reason why I chose that plant, because it looks like almost black leaves in the middle of the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to be videoing. It's usually one take, rarely two takes. It's usually I hit record and there we
Mm-hmm.
go. Or I'll be walking around with these thoughts. Sometimes I haven't even written them down yet. Sometimes I hit record and they come out and I write them down later.
Mm.
You know? Or I'll see something and I'm just drawn to it, so I go to it, I hit record, and there we are. And I think that was one of those where it was just I had these thoughts and I was looking around and I saw that plant and I was just like, whoa. And I just hit record. So yeah, for me it's a lot of, and that darkness is not darkness, is a really profound um it's three words, but it's a really profound thing. If you ever actually meditate on that, it sounds so simple and it sounds so like impossible. Like, what does that mean? Darkness is not darkness. But it's really profound if you really get into it. And I don't really know how to explain that now. That's something that people have to find on their own, I think, in their own way. Yeah.
I love that. I think of it as, you know, there's not really cold, because cold is just the absence of heat.
Right.
Kind
Ice,
of
fire.
like, yeah, like darkness is just the absence of light, and that's kind of how it how it feels to me.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Exactly. And you can feel that, right?
Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think we're ready for some Q&A. Let me make sure I have Rain up here. There we are. I think we're ready for a little bit of Q&A. If anyone has any questions at all, we want to open up the room to you, our live audience. And if you have a question about the themes in the book or the creative process or writing poetry, just drop it in the chat right now. If you put a Q at the start of it, it'll make it easier for me to see. But yeah, go ahead and if you have any questions, let me know. And while we're kind of waiting for those to come up, Rain, every collection has a spark. Um, what was the defining moment or feeling that made you realize these specific pieces belong together in Thoughts for the Collective?
Um, I didn't really have like a one time, like a eureka defining moment.
Mm.
It was more of a feeling at a few points here and there shortly after I started writing them and had already made a few videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I do for people that don't know is I put videos out on Facebook. Sometimes you never know what it's going to be. And some of these
Mm-hmm.
videos, that's how they started. I didn't even realize they were going to become a book at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do remember feeling though that there was something a bit different about this collection. Like at the time, I thought it was just like a heightened part of my process for writing poetry, because I have, obviously everyone has their own process in everything. And but it didn't take long, and I realized that there were some specific writings that I realized very soon. This wasn't just normal poetry, and
Mm-hmm.
some of it was channeled through me where I didn't even know what I was writing at the time. And some of it I don't even know for sure. There's a few parts where I'm like, what does that even mean? It just was pen on paper, right? But I realized that this is definitely something that needs to be put together as one unique thing. It's not just random poetry. It's meant to be as a collection. So
Wonderful. I just wanted to put in here that anyone who has questions, your questions will automatically enter you into the giveaway as well. Um, Now, in this volume, you explore some themes of reflection and space and connection. Is there a specific poem in this collection that felt almost terrifyingly honest to write?
yeah, that would be that video that you played early on, video number 4, I think it
Hmm.
was. It starts with in this present moment, I think it was. I can't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
that's what I said. I was tripping out over here. I don't know if I would say it was terrifying. None of these were scary or terrifying to write. But it definitely spoke to making a conscious choice to live. That's why that one popped up in my mind. I was living in a sober living community house with 4 other guys at the time, going through after recovery and staying sober and clean. And that was in the backyard of that place.
Oh.
Another reason why I was tripping out, because that was 4 or 5 years ago or whatever it was. So I remember clearly. And the line in that about one finger on the trigger and one on the pulse, it really hits personal to me. So I don't know if I'd say terrifying to share that one, but definitely vulnerable, because it's a very, it was vulnerable, and it was about making a conscious choice and taking back your will to live. Basically, you're making that choice. Say, I am, and I'm moving forward, and like I got this. Basically, is in that present moment where you can just, you stop living in the past and you're moving forward and you're making that conscious decision that you're worth it, kind of thing, right? So it was vulnerable, but I don't know. But being vulnerable obviously can be scary,
Oh,
right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
in that sense, I guess that one definitely came to mind.
Yeah. As an author myself, your words are a piece of you, and I think that's one of the things that's difficult, um, for many writers, for many creatives, is putting that piece of you out into the world,
Mhm.
and having people judge it,
Yeah,
whether they judge it positively, negatively, or whatever. That judgment still feels like judgment on you, since it is a piece of you.
absolutely. And there's always going to be that, no matter what. There's always going to be somebody that judges you or hates you or whatever. Always, no matter what you do. I learned that a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard though. I mean, when I first started going on Facebook years and years, however long ago, 8 years, whatever it was,
Mhm.
I started doing planking exercises and I was trying to put myself out there, and it was really hard. Like a lot of things I did, um, was really difficult and really vulnerable. And then sharing my own poetry and I still have moments where I'm like, this is, once in a while I still get a moment where I'm like, do I really want to keep doing this? Do I really want to share this poem? Do I want to put myself out there? But it's gotten a lot easier, but it was
Mhm.
really hard at the start to be that vulnerable. And like you said, you're sharing a part of yourself. It's heart and
Yeah.
soul. It's personal experience. It's from who I am, what I've been through, my therapy on paper, and it's like, hey, anybody can see that. You can laugh at it. You can judge me. I really don't care. But that didn't make it any easier at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Mm.
Um, for someone picking up thoughts for the collective during a heavy or busy season of their life, what do you hope reading your work gives them in that moment?
Hope, inspiration, something to help them persevere,
Mhm.
something that they can take in their own way that just gives them that little bit they need, that little bit of perseverance, a little bit of hope, something positive that they can push through whatever it is they're going through. Ultimately, that's what I hope. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Um, Again, for those of you who are just joining us, thank you so much. Make sure that you drop a comment or question for Rein or for me in the comments, and that will enter you into the giveaway. We still have the grand prize coming up, which is a physical copy of Thoughts for the Collective, as well as a single rune reading directly from the author, from Rein. So Rein, how does your writing routine look when inspiration hits? Do these pieces start as quick notes on your phone? Do you sit down in a quiet solitude with a physical journal?
Um, I love pen on paper.
Mm, yes.
I literally have pieces of paper in front of me and a pen. I mean, I just love pen on paper. Um, so yeah, and different notebooks for different things. That's the nerd side of me, I guess. Uh, so I like when I have thoughts come to me, no matter what I'm doing, um, I'll go and put them on paper.
Mm,
I have a
mhm,
notebook beside my bed. Sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night or first thing in the rising, when there's clarity and I'm having my first coffee, sometimes I get a lot of just thoughts coming to me that way, and I've got that notebook right there. Other
mhm,
times, if I'm out doing something in the jungle or whatever, and I don't have my notebook right beside me, and I start getting thoughts, and it feels like this is something for the collective. This isn't just one of my poems for something else. I just keep thinking about it, and sometimes I get more added to it. And then later, if it feels like it's meant to be written down,
mm.
I start writing it. And usually, once I start writing, some more comes from it, from that initial, you know, pen to paper, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I I have something that I call a compost heap. And basically it's, every time I'm writing something down, if I have a story idea, if I have just random stuff, if I'm sitting down and writing or whatever, I
Yeah.
stick it all into a digital file that I call my compost heap. And eventually something comes from that. You go back in there and you're like, oh, wow, I remember this. And for me, there's a whole lot in there that I don't even remember writing.
I, I get it. I love that. I love the name that you use for it. I've got a couple. I just started another compost, just raw in the ground, not with a barrel or anything.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying different things, and I got a papaya growing out of one of the composts. I mean, it's the stem is like that. It's fantastic. But yeah, I love that compost, and it's like brainstorming almost.
Yeah.
You're just writing. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to spell right. You don't have to have commas. You just get it out, get it on paper, and then you come back to it later. I
Mhm.
love that you do that. I do that as well. Sometimes I'll be writing stuff and I'll come back to it later, and it just something needs to be added to it.
Yeah.
Or other times I look at it and I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now. Or hey, that could be for this collection. Or hey, that's definitely for thoughts for the collective, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Well, we did kind of touch on this a little bit, but poetry can be deeply personal, and sharing it requires a shift in vulnerability. How do you navigate that transition from writing for yourself to handing those words over to the public?
Wow, yeah, that transition. Like I said, it's gotten a lot easier,
Mhm.
like a lot easier. But when I first started doing that, I basically committed to a path and a purpose and a part of my mission. When I first started sharing poetry, when I put myself out there, everything public on Facebook, and a lot of really vulnerable moments and things like that, and I was new to recovery at the time, and I was going through
Mm,
all these emotions and just all these things like that, and basically I committed. I just said, you know what, this is not going to be easy, but I feel like it's worthwhile. I feel like this is something I'm meant to do,
mm,
regardless of how hard it is. And sometimes it's too easy not to sit in those difficult moments or be vulnerable. But I committed to growing, to
mm,
sharing my highs and lows, my story, um, and to just seeing if I can help anyone out there through what I do, whether it's make them laugh, make them think, make them cry, not on purpose in a malicious way. Sometimes that's what we need. And
yeah.
so I just decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm just not going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep going, and I'm glad I did, because I know that it's helped me a lot. It's a therapy for me, and it still is. And I know I've helped other people. And yeah, it's not been easy, but it does get easier in
I'm
some way.
glad you did as well.
Thank you.
And I do think that being authentic, being vulnerable, being real, people can sniff out a fake
Yeah,
pretty quickly, if you're not sincere about that. And
yeah,
I think that meeting an author, a creative in person is such a huge way to create new connections as well. And and those connections can be very, very fulfilling.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've met, like I said before, I've had some real connections online, and I know a lot of other people have, and I know there's some people that think it's all fake, it's all bullshit, but I think they also maybe haven't made those connections themselves, or they just kind of have that negative, pessimistic outlook on everything, and it's kind of like, well, why are you here then?
Yeah.
If you don't think so, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Online.
And I also think that people that are closed off to connecting with others,
Yeah,
that that comes across as well.
yeah,
Where if they're not being sincere in their desire to connect, it it almost forms a little bubble of, I don't know, insecurity or space that pushes people away rather than connects with them.
yeah.
And vulnerability in that is really important, but
It
it's
is.
also super hard.
Exactly. Exactly. But if more people do that, like I know that a lot of my soul tribe, like they do that as well. But some people they do things in other ways or behind the scenes.
Mhm.
But at least they're doing something.
Yeah.
We have our different strengths and weaknesses, right? But for me, putting myself out there and my vulnerabilities, if that helps somebody see, hey, look, this guy's doing it,
Mhm.
whether or not they decide that that's going to help them to put themselves out publicly or not, if it still helps them to see that somebody else is doing it. I mean, it's so simple, but some of the most simple things are true in my
Yeah.
experience, right? And
Yeah.
I read something about maybe the opposite of love is indifference, and it's like, people that if they don't have a reaction, it's like it's better to have some reaction than nothing, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of going off on a tangent here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'll,
that does
I'll,
make sense.
so cheesy.
No, that
Well,
absolutely does make sense to me because um I love and hate, I think, are that we think of them as opposite sides of the same coin, but really they're both a different manner of connection.
right,
So while, if you love someone, that connection is different from if you hate them, but that it's still there.
right,
Whereas as indifference, it's like you don't exist,
right,
you know?
right. And like one thing I try to do, like I'm always trying to evolve and learn, and when you see people at the way that they're doing certain things, I know that I've seen myself having done the same things. So who am I to judge them? They haven't gone through certain things yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I try to do is hold space for multi-dimensional truth. And like what you were saying with the love and hate thing, basically to me, that's like I don't have to judge somebody. You know, everyone can say what they want. I'll fight to your death the right to say it, you know,
Yeah.
but there's got to be a need to genuinely want to grow and not just lash out at people in the wrong way. Like I can say, I
Mhm.
love this person, and I can also say, this person has hurt me deeply. The same person. Those are both true.
Mhm.
They're both true at the same time, but they're opposites. But that's a truth,
Yeah.
you know. And I think one of the keys is people genuinely wanting to grow and learn, and that involves pain. True wisdom comes through pain. That
Yes.
too is a fact. Like, it's part of the experience that I have and what I've seen. You cannot come to that wisdom. Like, you can't heal your trauma. Everybody has trauma, right? If you don't get to the root of it, you're putting a fucking band-aid on it.
Mhm.
So to truly want to heal, you have to do that work, and it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I hope is when I do what I do, it reaches people in the right way and it helps them somehow, because it helps me, and it's been really hard. But when I committed to my path and learning and growing,
Hmm.
I haven't looked back, or at least fallen back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's never a straight line. Growth, healing, and learning, it's never a straight line. There's dips and ups and downs. But yeah, I don't know. I'm you know me. I go off on how did we get here? So,
Well, that actually does kind of bring us around to our last question. Excuse me. Um, Anyone joining us, go ahead and make sure if you have any burning questions for either Rein or myself, make sure you put that in the comments and we'll get to that. We're going to go through this last question and then we're going to do the drawing for the grand prize. So make sure that you get your comments in there. And so, Rein,
yeah.
if you could pair the reading of Thoughts for the Collective with an ideal setting, a specific time of day, a drink, an ambient soundscape, what would that perfect atmosphere be?
Huh. Well, I think it would be different for everybody. You know, it's unique to the individual.
Mhm.
And I know you're asking me, but I feel like I'd rather say what I think it might be like for the collective, because it's the individuals. Some people, they would love to sit on a balcony at a concrete high rise, New York style, traffic and people and bright lights, chaos all around, and sirens and shit like that. Some people prefer winter and cold and ice.
Yeah.
Some people would rather have a cabin in the woods with nobody around, the occasional bird chirping, right? So I don't think there's an ideal setting. I think it's whatever is ideal to the individual at that time and place.
Mm.
You know, whether they're reading one part of the book or they're actually sitting down to read the whole book from start to finish. You know, people have different reading styles too. Like I can't sit and get into a book unless there's quiet and there's nobody around.
Mm.
Some people could sit on a bus with people around and they can
Yeah.
read into a book. I can't really do that. Right. So it's,
Uh-huh.
again, I think it's unique for the person. And you know, for me, being sober for this many years, the drink part would be a coffee
Uh-huh. I have
or
some
some
water.
juice. um, yeah, and yeah, I mean, a sunrise, like I was saying earlier, like for me, some of my clearest thoughts and writing some things comes in the first thing in the rising when I'm having my first coffee. I'm a sunrise type of person. I'm springtime. That's kind of my jive, my whatever you want to call it, my mojo, my embodiment of.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and other people, it's sunset. Other people, it's, again, I think it really matters. It's to the individual
Mm.
and whatever works for them. You know,
Yeah.
if they find something good from my book because they just happened to grab it on their way out because they're busy, and they took 5 seconds and something, one line caught their attention and made them think,
Yeah.
right? Or they sat down in whatever's their ideal setting and they were
Mm-hmm.
focused on reading it and getting more out of it. That's it's win-win. It's all
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Um, Let me pop up the next screen. and add you. Rein, it has been such a peaceful and inspiring afternoon. And before we sign off, we have one grand prize left to award, and it's a physical copy of Thoughts for the Collective, as well as a personal rune reading from Rein. Get those finals entries in. Go ahead and make sure that you have commented. Just say hi in the comments, and we'll go ahead and pop that up there so that we can pull up the. Here we go. So we have Rhonda, who is our most recent winner. And let's draw again. I have a feeling I know who the winner's going to be. No, not me.
It's rigged.
I know it's rigged. Actually, I'm in here like 3 more times. There. Oh, no, not Barnstormer Publishing. It's going to get to Amanda sooner or later. I know it is.
It's amazing.
Amanda Jane. No, not Tawnlandia. All right. So that's just silly. Amanda Jane, congratulations. You are the winner of a physical copy that we will send out directly from Barnstormer Publishing, as well as a there we go. I've had many readings and already own the book, but thank you. Well,
She already has the book.
we can work that out. If you would like to give me a drop me a email at editor@barnstormerpublishing.com. I can absolutely send you out a copy. Or if there's someone in particular you would like me to send it to, absolutely, you can send that along. As a matter of fact, actually, that's the best idea. Let me know who you would like to gift your reading and physical copy to, and just send me a note at editor@barnstormerpublishing.com, and I will make sure that gets right out. Oh,
Is that
wonderful.
for me or for Amanda?
Oh, that's for Amanda.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I wanted to make sure. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Amanda, let us know who you would like to gift that to.
There we go.
Well, make sure that you follow Rein Cummins and Barnstormer Publishing on social media to keep up with upcoming releases, readings, and community events. Rein, thank you so much for sharing your work and your thoughts with us this afternoon. To everyone tuning in, thank you very much for your time and your thoughtful chat messages and your support of independent authors and publishers. Pick up your copy on Amazon. I'm going to pop up the QR code there so you can see that. And pick up your copy on Amazon, leave a review, and help connect and keep connecting with one another. Have a restful evening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.